Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is a band who deal out killer riffs as much as they deal out the feels, proving to be one of the most exciting British metal bands of recent years, and no one's going to know that took 2 takes. Here to talk about their upcoming album, it is my pleasure to introduce Cherry of Defences.
Everything was taken. Pay for the loss in me. Look what it's done to me. Look what it's done to me. I'm left with a memory of what will never be. I back it up, but I see the cloud making its way to me. And I'm ready for rain, and I feel it again. A stab in my back left me in the black. Just like you know you are.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's good. It's going good. We are in album release week right now. So I'm just really excited. I think I'm just going to wake up really excited every day this week until Friday.
I mean, what could you want more from an October? Obviously, it's Halloween. It's the spookiest time of the year, which is the best time.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite time of the year. I love Halloween. So yeah, yeah.
And now it's album launch month as well. So yeah, you couldn't ask for more. But we will get to music in just a sec. But Cherry, I need to get to know the real you before we get into any of the music dealings. And to do that, I need to ask the hard-hitting questions. So prepare yourself.
Okay.
That is, if you were a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best defines you as a person?
That's a very good question. And I have no idea. So I'm just going to answer with the type. No, okay, I have an answer.
Okay.
I would be, right, so white bread, but good bread, ham, cheese, ready salted crisps.
Oh, now, no, I've asked this question to many, many people now, and no one has thrown in the crisps into the equation. So that is a strong, strong shout.
It's got to be done.
You've got the crunch, you've got the meat, you've got the cheese. Just brilliant sandwich, brilliant choice. Now we can get to music. Anyway, so as you were saying, your latest album, In the Balance, is dropping in just a few short days, and actually by the time this video goes out, it's probably a few days old. But for the people who haven't discovered it yet, what can they expect from this album?
They can expect a lot of honest discussions about difficult things. We go heavy on this album in multiple ways. Musically, and then lyrically as well. We talk about some serious things around mental health and around society and recent events. And around just life in general and big questions in life. There's a lot of hope sprinkled in there too as well, especially towards the end of the album. There's also just a lot of energy throughout, which I think is something we've sort of always said since the very beginning of Defences. Is one of the ways that we've described ourselves as we're a very energetic band, and I think that this album is probably our best example of that. So yeah, lots of different things.
No, I completely agree, and I completely agree with the idea that that's been what you guys have been about from the start. Because I remember back in the day listening to Grow, either when I was sort of having a bad day, or if I needed to sort of have that get up and go, it was on all my playlists for that kind of mood. And I definitely think that sort of translates to the new work as well. And so obviously you mentioned that it deals with a lot of heavy themes, from as you say, quite internalized things such as mental health to things that have affected society in many, many ways, such as I believe it touches on BLM and other movements such as that. So was there a sense of catharsis around writing this? How was writing this album? Was it something you felt came easy, or was it quite a difficult task?
It was probably the most difficult thing we've ever done, actually. And it wasn't supposed to be, but it ended up being, for a couple of reasons. So if we go way back to 2019 is actually when the first few demos for this album, like, you know, became a thing. Yeah, we had a few demos that we were working on for a while. I remember personally dealing with quite a bit of writer's block towards the end of 2019, which meant that I was slowing down basically the completion of like demos and stuff. So that was stressful. And then obviously 2020 happened, which was, you know, the year that just shook everyone and changed everything. But so basically around into like the first couple of months of 2020, we were pretty much sitting on a full album. And the original plan was for us to go into the studio in April. And yeah, so it was it was the weirdest. Oh, and yeah, so a lot of the like refinement had to be done over Zoom because obviously we're in lockdown. We couldn't go see each other. We couldn't be in the same place. So lots of long Zoom sessions, literally like screen sharing logic. So yeah, it was the weirdest, most stressful thing ever. But in a way, it was really positive.
Awesome. You often do find that, you know, the best art comes through sort of, you know, times of adversity and times which are more challenging. So do you think that perhaps some of those songs that you know were you were demoing back in sort of 2019 and everything, do they sort of mean something different to you now that they've been released after such a turbulent time for the world?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's funny actually, because the first single that we put out, Something More, when we originally wrote that song, it was called New Normal. Well, no, that's a lie. When we originally called that song, it had a weird demo name, but the name that we were originally going to call it was New Normal. And obviously that was before everything happened. And guess what? One of the terms that started floating about as soon as it was a thing, new normal. When are we gonna, what's this new normal gonna be after COVID? Blah 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 was on every news thing. It was everywhere, and we were like, well, we don't want people to immediately think that this song is about COVID, because it wasn't at all, like in the slightest. And we just knew that would happen. So we ended up having to change it. And then we ended up landing on Something More, which, works really, really well. But yeah, so there's things like that, like funny little things that have changed things about songs or the album as a whole, just because COVID is a thing that we never thought would be a thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to ask you guys for the lottery numbers next with foresight like that. But
yeah, it's crazy. The funny thing is it actually happened with one of our previous songs as well, What You Know, which, to be fair, so people thought that was also about COVID, because is that what people thought it was about? Yeah, people thought it was about COVID because we released it around the start of 2020. When we just to like cover the gap, we released that. And that was actually written again way before, and was slightly inspired by Brexit and everything that was happening around Brexit, which nobody would guess because of the time that we released it. But yeah, so there's been a few funny things like that.
Well, I look forward to seeing how you predict the future with your next album. But in the meantime, you've recently been able to hit the road again, as a lot of other bands have been able to. So what's it been like being able to play live again after such a long time?
It's been the best thing. That's what I've been waiting for more than others, and be on a stage in front of people enjoying heavy music and enjoying music that we made, especially, like, it does just give you this insane feeling. And yeah, to not only be able to do it again, but to be able to be able to do it again and have the shows be so good, has been just amazing. Because so we got put on the our Hollow Our Home tour as a late addition because the original band had to drop out, original opening band. So we only found out about it like 3 weeks before the tour was supposed to happen. So it was very last minute. And I'm an anxious person anyway, so I was incredibly concerned about a multitude of things, but one of them was, oh, are people gonna actually be at these shows? Are people gonna be out, and then are people gonna like us? Are Hollow and City and Chuggers fans gonna like our music? Are people gonna even be there for the opening band kind of thing? Like, I had a lot of concerns around that, but all of my concerns got completely washed away because the shows were all amazing. It was really, really good.
That's great to hear. That's great. Well, how could they not like you guys? How could they not like you guys is what I would say. But I tell you what, you're going to have a captive audience on the 22nd for the album launch show. You must be hyped for that.
So excited for that because, yeah, that one is our first show since everything happened. That's like our show. So yeah, we're gonna pull out some of that I heard. It's gonna be our first time in a really cool venue, Boston Music Room in London. And yeah, it's just gonna be a big party really to celebrate this album. And yeah, I can't wait. Not long now.
Not long. It's what is it? A week after the album comes out, isn't it? It's Friday after next.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. I love that all of the things are happening in succession as well. So we have this Friday the album comes out, next Friday album party, album release.
That's it. And on a Friday night, you can always go harder and have a few extra drinks on a Friday night. So even better.
Exactly.
But just going back to sort of, the past 18 months, as much as probably no one actually wants to, but over the past 18 months, as we've all been locked down, one thing that at least I've done a lot is consume a heck of a lot more media, whether it be movies, new music, video games, everything and more. So with that in mind, if there could be, if you could pick one of your songs to be featured in anything, whether it be a movie, a video game, nothing's off the table, what would be your dream thing to feature a Defenses song?
Ooh. Oh, what would be my dream thing to like be featured on? Oh,
yeah. What would you like to be on the soundtrack or provide the soundtrack to?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Probably a film of some description. Probably some really cool action film. I think would suit our music really well. But I'd want it to have some kind of fantasy element because I love all that stuff. So I'm thinking like Pacific Rim type vibes, something like that. Yeah. I think would be really cool. Yeah.
A big old kaiju fight with Defenses playing in the background.
Yes. That'd be sick.
That would be sick. I would pay a lot of money and for that. If Idris Elba wants to get involved as well, I'm sure that wouldn't be a problem. So
yeah, Idris, I know you're listening.
Yeah.
Get involved.
Call me. You don't want to be the next James Bond. Do Pacific Rim 3 instead. We need you. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. Back to music. Obviously, there's not too much left of 2021 anymore, probably for the best. But what does the rest of this year and the start of 2022 have in store for you guys?
So yeah, obviously we have the album release show on the 22nd. We have a couple more shows just in support of the album as well. So on the 23rd, actually, I'm not gonna I don't know the dates off by heart, but I know that the next day we're playing a show and the following week we're playing 2 shows, and that's Northampton, Bristol and Nottingham. Don't quote me on the order, but we're playing those 3 towns and I'm really excited for all of those shows because Northampton we've never been to before, so I'm really excited for that. And then Bristol and Nottingham we were able to play on the Hollow tour that we came back from recently, and those shows were really, really fun. And we made a lot of new friends that are coming back to see us when we come back. So
awesome.
I'm really excited for that. And then just to top it off, on the best day of the year, in my opinion, Halloween, we're playing Halloween. I messed that up, but it's fine. We're playing Halloween for the first time, our first time ever playing that, which I'm really excited for, because every year it looks like it's been incredible and it's grown every year. This is the first year that it's actually over 2 days, which is really cool. We're playing on the Sunday, but I will be there for both days, just hanging out on the Saturday. And so we get to finish off the month with that. We are also then playing another festival in December. I believe it's the 18th, but you might have to double check that, of December. We're playing Reading Rising in Reading, which we've played a couple of times and it's always been really fun. So we're looking forward to that a lot too.
Awesome.
That's all we have for the rest of this year. And then I don't think there's anything I can talk about necessarily yet for next year, but we do have plans that we're working on. Absolutely.
Cryptic yet exciting. I like it. So for Halloween, have you got any spooky hijinks planned? Are any of you gonna sort of, don any costumes? Are you gonna have any cool stage setting to be spooky themed?
I don't know. I feel like we have to do something. Apparently it's a thing that all of the bands do. They all dress up and they all like really go for it, which I'm completely here for, because I love Halloween. But at the same time, I don't have a single clue what we're gonna do. So yeah, I need to talk to the guys about that pretty soon, and we'll do something cool. But you have to be there to see what it is.
more cryptic yet exciting plans are afoot for Halloween. Well, everyone can look forward to that, but in the meantime, I have one last question for you, and that is, we are UDS, which stands for Upside Down Shark, and don't ask me why we settled with the name Upside Down Shark. Thought it up many, many years ago over a course of chocolate waffles, and frankly, we're in way too deep to change it now. But be that as it may, Cherry, what is your favourite shark? And it could be real, it could be fictional, it could be a shark from nature or a shark from a movie, but what would you say your favourite shark is?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go for the shark in Finding Nemo.
Great.
The only one
choice.
that's really coming to mind, but he's a cool dude.
He's a solid choice. He teaches us that fish are friend, not food, and I think that is a message that we can take into many facets of life. So yeah, fully on board with that. Fully on board for that. And on that ridiculous note, as there have been many ridiculous notes that I've enforced on you in this interview, that is the end. So Cherry, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
I'm glad to hear it. Anytime.